I'm Alex.
I'm Warren.
And I'm Kirby.
And this is the Real GamerScore podcast. We are your source for Xbox achievement news, GamerScore tips, and Borderlands announcements. This week we talk about skins, elite controller fails, and being removed from your own game. But first, here's the song of the week.
Flying my ship with no set destination. Flying my ship just out exploring. I open my gal map and plot me a new course. Yes, I'll use neutrons, fly into the black.
I don't ever wanna be playing Elite Dangerous. That's a lie. Okay.
That's not a lie for me.
Red Hot Chili Peppers?
Yep.
Yep.
I don't ever wanna be. Is it called I Don't Ever Wanna Be? I actually have no idea what it's called.
It's called Under the Bridge.
Correct.
My next guess was going to be Down by the River, and I didn't really know why, so I didn't
Down
go
by
with
the
it.
river.
Down by the river.
No.
Where we shove our kids' heads down and we just keep it there till the bubbles stop coming. That's what we do down by the river.
Okay, alright. Yeah, so
Wow.
What games you been playing, mate?
Adventures in the NT. Bioshock. Infinite. Spoilers for an old game.
Okay, that was that children? Okay. Anyway.
No, not really. Kind of.
Yeah, I feel like you've tried to cover up and failed. Alright.
That's why I don't have kids anymore.
We're back again. It's episode 35. Obviously got me, ProfessorPluto, we got ChinDocta, and we got Planting 42
Don't
here.
know why you're introducing us again when we've
Why
done
not?
it at the
Because
start.
everyone loves it, you know? I'm just saying we're in the house, we're feeling good. It's Tuesday night when we're recording.
morning.
It's not when you're listening.
It
morning.
might be Tuesday night when you're recording. Depends
Wow.
how quick I am. Depends how much dumb stuff Alex has I have to get rid of.
Well, it's not usually me that cooks it. That was only just that one time. If you would like to join us in the Discord, join in the conversation for Real GamerScore, you can do so at discord.io/realgamerscore. We're in there all day, all night. We've got coverage pretty much all over the world, just talking this, that, and the other thing, trying to find people to game with. So come join in there, join in the conversation. We would love to have you.
Sneak previews of the review when I post it in the wrong channel. You know,
Well,
all
yes,
sorts of
that
exciting
happens.
stuff.
I just caught up on that about 10 minutes ago, actually. I was like, what's this? Okay.
Yeah.
I saw there was a message deleted in server logs, and I couldn't see what it was. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I
And
don't
I
know
saw
why.
that.
I guess if it's just a link, it doesn't post the link that was deleted. I don't know.
I'm not entirely sure. We have got a new patron this week, so Cavalier07 has come on board, committed some hard-earned to the cause, so thank you. I've already seen them in Discord, so I've had a bit of a chat to them. So thanks again, Cavalier. Appreciate you supporting the cause.
And he would have got in just in time for the April drawing. He would have done just before the end of the month, so he'll be in for the April draw for our patron prize.
All right, and speaking of prizes, that's a little good segue there. Thanks, Chin. We've got information on the random to-do list giveaway. So today when we're recording is the 2nd of April. We didn't want to kind of get the drop on you guys, so we are going to do the random to-do list giveaway next episode. Obviously, you can't earn any more achievements for the March period, but you can get your message with the answer over to, is it random to-do list? Yeah, it's random to-do list on True Achievements.
Ideally.
What was the score? The game that they're competing for, and the trivia question.
Game was Attack of the Earthlings. I had to have a little think there because forgotten. Yeah, Attack of the Earthlings by Wales Interactive. Not an FMV game this time, but
And so you need to send the answer to the trivia question, name another game with the word attack in the title.
Correct.
So send that over to the random to-do list account on True Achievements. So it's random to-do list, no spaces. If you would like to join the random to-do list so you can get in on future contests, it's really easy to do. You can just send a message to ChinDocta. You can send it to him on Discord or on True Achievements, and you can run a list pretty quickly, hey?
Yeah, I don't have access to the manual scanning, so it just happens on the hourly scan when a new person gets added. But I mean, you have to wait less than an hour to get a list from when I read your request. Because sometimes I'm asleep, sometimes I'm at work, and I go, well, can't really help now. Sorry, buddy.
Yeah. You're up a lot, but not 24 hours a day, unless it's the UHH competition.
Yeah. Next year.
All right. Let's get into the news. So we would be remiss in our duties as a podcast that probably, if we didn't mention this one, we'd be quite remiss. So Gearbox, early after last episode, they put out a teaser video. Apparently it's led to them officially announcing Borderlands 3 and the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition. So I'm not sure actually if either of you guys have played any of the Borderlands games.
Oh yeah, I've put some time in them. I've no plans on doing Mad Monkeys again.
Oh, that's right. You were playing the Japanese version recently.
Yep.
I probably should have remembered that because I cringed at the thought of Japanese Mad Moxie.
Yeah.
Is it in Japanese or is it just English with
It's just
subtitles?
English with subtitles.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Yeah.
We played pre-sequel together a little bit. You forget?
Did we?
Yeah.
When did we do that?
For UHH. It would have been.
Okay.
It would have been 2 years ago, because that was my fourth place finish or whatever when I lost to Jam Pound. But we did. I've dabbled in all of them. I'm pretty close to Borderlands 2 on the 360 completion, and sort of I think I've done the story in Borderlands 1.
So I guess then, so Warren, you said you won't be going back, but Kirby, would you go back to the Borderlands 1 Game of the Year edition?
Definitely. I haven't done the Mad Moxie DLC at all, so I don't know what I'm missing out on yet.
Yeah, you. I know you're saying that as a joke, but if you play it, you will rue the day that you played it.
How long is it? How long is it of just the same thing over and over
this
again?
way. You can either do endless wave after wave of like just joining a low-level character, or you could have gotten lucky like some of us did back in the day, playing legitimately and just jumping in on someone at an end wave and getting credit for the achievement because you jumped in at an end wave. That's not going to happen so much, I think, these days. You never know, though.
I did it all by myself solo because I had one of those special weapons that helped you be really good at the game.
Yeah, I have a special weapon and a special shield that'll help me be good at the game.
Yeah, that's
so
right.
It's just
a
going to be
shotgun and a shield.
It's just going to be
there
like
is a character
waiting.
export for the new versions, as people have been reporting.
Yeah,
but chances
I
are that's
that.
not going to give you the good weapons, like, because I think they didn't pass into 2. You just kind of got like the character itself.
I'm
Okay.
fairly. I want to say I'm fairly certain your weapons pass over in 2, but I imagine the insanity
From
check
1 to 2.
from 2 360 to 2 1.
Yeah, I think there was
To
a
2 on the Xbox
There
One.
was
What?
a check to make sure that you didn't get your goodies.
I think, yeah, I'm not sure whether that insanity check that was introduced in the pre-sequel is on that Borderlands 2 remaster. So, I mean, I can try and find out, but hopefully our pretend weapons will come across.
Well, I guess it leads me to the next question. What about Borderlands 3? Are you guys pumped? Are you guys going to get it? Don't care less? What do you reckon?
I'll probably get it.
Yeah. Probably.
Yeah. Okay. Alright, so you're not super pumped about it? You're just like, yeah, probably
No,
get it.
the only thing about it that I'm really excited is that they did decide to keep the Tales from Borderlands characters canon. Other than that,
Yeah.
I'm not overly psyched with the series. I mean, it's a fun game, but it's not something. It's like day one, rush out, grab this kind of thing for me.
What about you, Kirby?
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a day one. I mean, they go the Handsome Collection, which is the 2 remastered on the Xbox One, that goes on sale digitally, must be every month at least. So, I mean, 3 months down the track, it'll be a third off, and then 6 months down the track it'll be 50% off or more. So I'm really not in a rush to buy it and play it, really.
It's funny, I ask because I was thinking about this week when it got announced, and my fiance and I played Borderlands 1 and 2 and pre-sequel all the way through the story together. And when I asked her, told her this was coming, she's like, yeah, I mean, we've played a lot of Borderlands though. And that's not playing the remasters, that's just playing the 360 versions of those 3 games. And I just thought, you know what, you might be right. But then when I watched the kind of new, I wouldn't say it was a trailer, I don't know what you'd call it, but like a teaser, I thought, yeah, you know what, I could play some more Borderlands with some new things in it. And like you said, they're having those Borderlands the Tales from Borderlands characters considered canon, I think is a good thing, because the story in the Tales from the Borderlands game, I mean, we've gone over it on this podcast numerous times. I think, Warren, you've said in the past it's your favourite. It's up there for me. It's a really strong story. So having Reese and... what's her name? Athena? No, that's the chick with the shield. I don't even remember what the woman's name is in that game.
Big impact they had on you, though.
Reese is like a dork, and he's so funny, and he's just like... You know, there's that bit where they find the Gortys project, and she goes to him, did you just walk into a wall or something? Because he falls off a balcony, but it was actually the hologram of Handsome Jack. Yeah, anyway. You know what I'm saying? It's a fun humour, and I think that's what Borderlands represents for me, is a good, humorous game. And it'll be solid. I certainly won't be buying it day one or anything, but I will probably get it at some point, and hopefully my fiancé will play the game with me, and if not, I think it's one of these games that kind of retains a population, so I shouldn't have too much trouble finding people to play the game with.
Well, not to mention it's 4-player co-op this go around, so...
Yeah, and the Game of the Year edition's going to have 4-player split-screen co-op, I've been reading, so, you know, that's pretty cool too.
So it seems, at least early on in the life of the Borderlands 2 remaster, that the weapons did come over. I have no idea if they still go over, but back in 2015 they did. I can't imagine they would have allowed them now in this day and age, but yeah, who knows? Maybe they don't care as much as long as you buy the game, which really, unless there's some kind of competitive, really it shouldn't matter.
Yeah, could have a point there. Their bottom line is the buy the game, have the fun. I guess it doesn't really make a difference whether or not you have a Rose Omega or not.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that's all we really need to say on Borderlands. I mean, we'll have probably more to say about that
before that, the Borderlands Game of the Year edition comes out tomorrow. So
tomorrow. Or today when
3rd.
you're listening to it, probably, yeah.
Yeah, depending on your time zone.
Speaking of April, did you guys see any good April Fool's jokes around the place?
Not gaming related, but did you see the pickle burger?
That's exactly what I was going to say, the McPickle burger.
Pickle burger. And the...
Oh, no.
So do you tell Chin, tell everyone what it's all about in case they didn't see it, because I just got the feeling it was an Australian prank.
I think it was just in Australia. So McDonald's released on Instagram, I guess McDonald's Australia released on Instagram a picture of a burger and said, "This is for all you pickle lovers out there." And it's instead of a meat patty, it's a pickle patty. So it's just pickles layered on top of each other and more pickles for the like garnishing and the condiments. So it's just like a cheeseburger but with pickles instead of the burger.
It was like a 7 pickle thick layer on the top patty. So it was like a Big Mac.
A proper patty. And then they had the Big Mac picture of pickles instead of the Big Mac patties.
It was awesome. So funny story about pickles burgers. I used to work at a supermarket, and I was doing the night shift, and we decided we were going to go to McDonald's. Actually, I don't actually know if this is that funny, but I've started the story now, so you can tell me if it's not. But we went to go to McDonald's to get some food for the break time, and the duty manager's like, "Oh, can you get me a cheeseburger with no pickles?" I'm like, "Okay." So we go to McDonald's, we get to the drive-through window, and I don't know if it's the same where you guys are, but you have at the drive-through window, when you order stuff, it pops up on the screen.
Typically, yeah.
Yep.
So we got, yeah, all right, cool. So it's the same there. So we got this guy a cheeseburger, and we like extra pickles, extra pickles, extra pickles, extra. It popped up on the screen 7 times. And we're just laughing, and they're like, why are you laughing? It's fine. So we went there, paid for it, and we gave the bag to the duty manager and practically ran off. And he comes up to us like half an hour later, he's like, "Hey, guys, did you ask for no pickles?" And we're like, "Yeah, why?" He goes, "There was a lot of pickles on that." So he just picked them all up. It's a dumb story, I know, but oh god, it makes me actually laugh just remembering that.
Alright.
Long story
The
short, if
execution
you
was-
don't like pickles, don't tell Pluto. Just saying.
Oh man, I love pickles.
Really? You'd eat this pickle burger, would you? Or?
Look, I would try this pickle burger. You just posted a picture of it on the Discord. Yeah, I would probably eat this pickle burger. So yeah, I guess I was a little bit disappointed when I found out. When I obviously realised very quickly that it was an April Fool's joke. I think I saw one. Was it Rainbow Six Siege? They were all wearing pink bunny suits and that kind
Yeah.
of stuff as well.
It was like everything was rainbow and bright and colourful and stuff like that. So it was all pink and unicorns and rainbows and stuff. That was a good one.
Rabbids
Discord.
in For Honor.
I missed that.
Yeah, I think I read something about that.
Like your
That
like
was-
minion troops were all rabbids, I guess, for today only.
Oh,
the other,
yeah.
yeah.
No, so
did you
there
say?
was Discord saying that had an update that they removed light theme. There was in Realm Royale. which
I got
played.
that
Discord didn't
today,
even have a light
and I was
theme,
just like,
did they?
"What?"
I don't know. I feel like they do.
Oh,
No, they mustn't, because Rich would have it if it did exist.
exactly. I can't imagine Rich.
I've seen his screen. He Discord is the thing that stands out because it's the only thing not light theme.
Oh, he always gives me crap whenever I give him a screenshot of something off site and it's in dark theme. He's like, "Oh, I hate that." I'm like, "Yeah, but it's." need it.
Realm Royale had a potion that made you big-headed. I think your hitbox was still the same size, but you had a high-pitched voice and a giant head.
There you go.
What was the other one I saw? I think Rocket League changed the pictures for their casual, where you go to join a game?
Yeah.
I think they changed the pictures on there. I only saw it just before we started recording, and so I didn't look too much into it, because it's not April Fool's Day anymore where we are.
No.
Anyway.
Bloomy, who does these sales on Cheap Ass Gamer, put the Xbox sales in the PlayStation forum.
That's good. I like that. Yeah. Alright, well, if that's all we have for April Fool's jokes, we'll go on to this next story. So, I guess, Chin, this is kind of a throwback to the story that you posted, I don't know, 5-10 episodes ago, something like that. Apex Legends has had such a successful launch that EA's laid off 350 staff members.
Yeah,
So-
but they're not technically related. The layoffs
they're
are
not.
actually from the.
It's a stretch.
I think didn't EA say they're more based off the sports, like the yearly sports games? I mean, Apex, I don't think had much EA staffing. That was
Yeah. It was mostly marketing, publishing, operations, and teams based in Japan and Russia.
the localization guys.
Exactly,
Yeah.
Yeah, localization stuff. 5% of the company's workers, so extrapolating, they've got 7,000 workers. That's pretty good for a big company. 7,000.
Yeah. What did we say for Blizzard? It was like 9,600 or something. So they're
Yeah, because
getting
they did
reasonably close.
800 with,
size.
I think, just under 10%, something like that.
Yeah, so it's obviously disappointing, when you hear about such a massive layoff like that. It kind of makes me, I don't know if this is right to say, but it makes me happy I don't work in the games industry, because I would struggle so hard with, potentially being laid off all the time. Just having no job security at all, it seems. And I think, as it stands right now, I know that about the gaming industry, but someone's got to make the games that we play.
I mean, as long as you're making the Apex Legends of the world, your job's fine.
Wow.
Just don't be given a bad project.
I feel like you go into the casino, it's like, as long as you bet on the right colour,
Yeah.
you'll be fine.
As long as we assign you the correct job, you won't lose it.
Yeah.
It's kind of a shame that it comes down to that. I mean, it's like, how do you know which zombie game is one zombie game too many?
Yeah.
That's an April Fool's trick question. None of them are too many.
Tell that to
Walking Dead
Overkill?
Overkill was too many.
What was that one, Chin?
Walking Dead Overkill was too many.
Yeah.
I am still sad that I didn't get the chance to decide that for myself.
I'm also sad for you.
I think you tried to say that in a sarcastic tone, but deep down you actually
didn't.
meant it.
No, yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I'm sad that
Yeah.
you didn't get to try a game you're excited for. I'm sad for everyone. It was like Scalebound. People were real upset about Scalebound. I'm like, I don't really care, but that sucks for you. And I'm like, I can empathize with how you're feeling. Like,
Well, I think for me, it's probably, not to toot my own horn, but it's more of a big deal because I don't really get excited for games.
yeah,
It's extremely rare that I actually get quite interested and excited in a game. So when I'm actually interested in one, and that's the one that gets cancelled, like, yeah, that really does suck. But
I just think about how I'd feel if Kingdom Hearts got cancelled the week before.
look, I'm not going to put it on the same level as that.
No,
obviously.
but that's where I put it, because
Yeah, if you'd be devastated if that happened.
I don't know that I would have done the podcast for 2 weeks. I think I would have just been crying the whole time.
Yeah.
Not even delayed,
Yeah.
it had been straight out cancelled. How did we tangent onto this?
It was all EA's fault.
Yeah.
Well,
so,
something...
I mean, Anthem, they've said, it did have a rocky launch. I'm hearing reports that content is somewhat lacking, but, the type
Where
of
have we
game that
heard
it
that
is...
before?
No, maybe
that
if it's
will-
supposed to be a Destiny killer, if it has any content, it's probably doing okay.
And Apex Legends is massively successful, with a estimated 92 million in its first month. Obviously,
Yeah.
those are not concrete numbers, so it's probably done more than that. But and that was even before they introduced their battle pass and their seasons and all that stuff. So that was just when it was the raw game and not filled with the microtransactions. There was some, but having the battle pass in, and although from what I'm aware, the battle pass is kind of lacking in content as well. Still, they're
I think that they'll kind of get it right pretty quickly, Respawn, because
yeah.
I think as a team of game developers, I have a lot of faith in them. Apex Legend isn't really my bag, but I could still see if I did play it, I think I would probably still find fun in it.
Yeah.
Because it's modelled off the gunplay and the movement from Titanfall 2, and that is such a solid base.
Yeah, just it feels kind of shoehorned. They're having a battle pass because that's what battle royales do, rather than we've got all this content that we've made and now we're going to put it in a battle pass to encourage people to,
Yeah, because
it feels
Respawn
more-
does a lot
They
of...
gave you the game for free.
Respawn does good with their gaming, but like building out lots of skins, that's not really their thing. So that's probably why the battle pass is just not really fleshed out.
I mean, we'll
and
see
I
if the
guess
season
you've put
2
it
and-
more eloquently than I was trying to say, so thank you. Yeah.
They make good game. They don't make good microtransaction.
Yeah.
It's not a bad
I
thing.
guess that...
The other thing, and that it sort of reminded me of, was I think in the sale last week there were like 5 or 6 new skin bundles for Titanfall 2. where you got the game and a bunch of multiplayer skins that I don't think existed
Oh,
before
yeah.
or had never gone on sale before, and it's kind of like, oh, you get acquired by EA, and eventually you have a bunch of skins that you're pawning off to people.
Yeah. Well, I think if you think about it like that, if their strength is making a good game and not the microtransactions, I think that bodes quite well for the eventual release of Titanfall 3. So hopefully it bodes well. All right,
We're going to be too busy making all these skins for the Battle Pass to do Titanfall 3.
I didn't want to mention that part, but thanks for bringing it up. Yeah, they might be.
If they
It's
do
so
some
bad
sweet
at it, they
enough
need to
skins,
spend more time than...
they can use them in Titanfall 3.
You know what actually would be a good idea for them? Let's say they take 6 months to get their skin game right. I don't know that sentence is what I was trying
Just
to
keep going, push through.
You know what I mean? Let's say they get their skin game right, but say you play Apex Legends and then you buy Titanfall 3 and they go, you know what? You can transfer your skins from Apex Legends into Titanfall 3 for nothing.
Now, this
I don't know if
assumes
that would
that
help
the
them
models
sell,
in Titanfall 3 multiplayer are going to be the same as what's in Apex Legends, and they're not just kind of going to be default gun guy and sort of, generic-looking gun guy and gun gal, because the characters are quite unique in Apex.
I was thinking more of the gun skins, isn't it?
Okay.
They have skins on the guns?
Yeah.
They have them on the characters
You
as
do,
well.
yeah, you have gun skins as well.
Well, take it a step further and go, you can play multiplayer, you can play as Caustic or Mirage or... Geez, I just said the two names of characters I knew
Wraith.
from Apex Legends. Yeah, Wraith. And you can transfer...
Only one you should play.
All right.
Smallest hitbox.
Oh, that's that one. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can transfer your character over to Titanfall 3 and you can transfer any existing skins. Even if they did it for like a $2 fee or something. I'm not trying to shoehorn microtransactions in, but I'm just thinking that would be a good idea if they could somehow have like a cross transfer between games.
Yeah.
But also, that actually thinking of that kind of reminds me of you guys remember the stop and swap from Banjo-Kazooie?
Oh, yeah.
Briefly.
Not the N64 version that failed miserably, the Xbox version, which apparently it worked.
I didn't know it didn't work.
You know what it is?
Yeah, that's where you find the crates in the earlier games, and in Nuts and Bolts you get items from them.
Yeah, but it was originally conceived as for the Nintendo 64 game, where you'd have, say, Banjo-Kazooie in the game, you'd find something in there, and at that point you would stop, you'd pull out your cartridge, put in Banjo-Tooie, and it would unlock things for Banjo-Tooie. So they had that idea of doing it, but I'm pretty sure
It's just kind of tied to your
Nintendo
save
told
now.
them you can't do that because for risk of damaging the cartridges or something. I don't remember exactly what the reason was. But then in the Xbox versions, they actually read it off your save game, so it could actually work.
Well, they definitely did code some of that back in the day, because I remember watching some videos of people finding some pretty crazy things with their stop and swap that was partially implemented. So some of the code made it into the cartridges.
Yeah, it seems to be one of those things that was like, hey, you can do this, and then never mentioned again.
Yep, pretty much.
Back in the original time. Anyway, just another sidetrack. So we've got another story here about Minecraft, just something I came across in my travels this week. The latest Minecraft update, which has just gone live, removes some of the mentions of Notch, the game's creator. So from what I was reading about this, the scrolling, I don't know what you
Splash
call
screens.
them, like info, the info parts on the splash screens at the menu of the game and over the loading screens would mention Notch, and they've been removed. So I guess it's kind of, well, according to that article, and the reason I came to before I even read the article was because of Notch's controversial history, shall we say. Probably not going to go into some of the things he said, but some of it's actually pretty bad, some of the things that he said. So I wonder if that has something to do with it. And if you were to assume that it was, it seems odd that now would be the time to remove him. You know, they bought Minecraft, 2 years ago, 3 years ago? I don't even know how long ago it was. And that was around the time that Notch was saying these things that, that were pretty bad. So, I mean, what do you guys think about this? Kirby, what do you think about it?
I mean, here's an accident waiting to happen, really. Like, he's got no involvement with it anymore, right? He's still in the credits because he created do the a lot of the core stuff, but he's really got no involvement now. Even if he hadn't said anything stupid, I wouldn't have cared if they removed him, because it's a splash screen that kind of stuff gets updated all the time. It's like, that's not, if they'd pulled him from the credits, I would have a bit more issue, but this is a so what kind of thing for me. Like, yeah, even if he was the best little boy ever, who cares? It's a splash screen. On the X, you see it for 2.5 seconds and then you're into the game because it loads so fast. Xbox One X, the best platform to play on.
Warren, what do you think?
Unless something must have just recently happened, like maybe someone is suing them because their kid saw this and associated it with some of his sayings. I don't know. In reality, it's not like they're removing all references to him. I mean, the Notch Apple is still called the Notch Apple and whatnot. They're still acknowledging that he did have an involvement in the game. It just no longer says created by Notch because, well, in true honesty, it's most of the game that's kicking around now is probably coded by someone other than Notch. So, I mean, I don't know. I don't see it as a big deal. And it was probably something that, like, Chin was saying, it was a liability. It was, if something didn't happen about it recently, which is why it happened, it's kind of a, we might want to do this before someone actually connects us and him together, and, who knows.
I admittedly, I'm guilty of going against what I'm about to say. It seems like it's not really a story. And I brought it to the podcast. It's not really a story.
It's all right.
All right. So we can close the book on that one. We've got, of course, now the Link Frog results, though. So the event that had just been happening. Oh, hello, Kiska. That's Kirby's dog, for those of you playing along at home. We've got the results from Link Frog. There's been an article run on True Achievements. So do we all remember what our guesses were? I think mine was 420.
I went 450.
Yep, and I was at 520.
So the winner, Down the Rabbit Hole 8, presumably because Down the Rabbit Hole 1 to 7 were already taken, has won that with 611.
Ridiculous.
So,
but
yeah,
1.83 every hour.
For 2 weeks straight.
Yeah.
He was at after day one, he was at 50.
Was he?
I think so, or 58 or something. So he pretty much maintained that pace of about 50 a day for the whole thing. He would have been at about 700 if he did. So he slowed down a little bit, but he's basically maintained 50 a day.
Yeah, considering you're probably sleeping about 8 hours a day, you're doing 50 in 16 hours. So what's that, about 4 an hour?
Plus a job, I have to assume,
well,
they're working 6 or 7 hours a day most of the week, I would guess. Maybe they're 12 years old.
Maybe not.
School holidays.
Maybe not.
I mean,
yeah.
You assume they're eating occasionally or prepping food in some form or fashion. I mean, then again, this could have been 2 weeks of straight takeout. Who knows?
Well, they might have been preloading for an event just like this. Who knows? But anyway, congratulations, Down the Rabbit Hole 8. That's awesome. So
definitely
the next
not an alt as well.
No, not with that score.
864,000 GamerScore.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a
So we've got High Road V2 on 559, Ace Phoenix 2 470, Triple Triad 450, Triple Triad 777, sorry, which I think people will know that name from most of the other contests on the site. It's
or a video game.
pretty big. What? Or a video game?
That's fine. Move on. It's from a video game. I feel like it.
What?
It is, right, Planting? He's gone.
If it is, I'm drawing a blank.
Are you thinking
Give me a
of the
second.
video game Rise of the Triad?
No, give me a second.
Because that's an old school game.
Final Fantasy
Older
VIII.
than you are.
Okay. Yeah, I guess it is.
Triple Triad is a card game in
It was
Final
that
Fantasy
card
VIII.
game in 8. Wow.
Yep.
I must have...
Which is... Oh, speaking of, do you remember last week I was talking about that Evoland?
Okay.
The evolving RPG? It's got basically Triple Triad in it.
Oh, no.
It's got the card game in it. Yeah.
I liked Blitzball better than the card game.
I love Blitzball. I can't wait to do it. 800 games for the achievement.
You guys are talking a language I don't really understand right now.
Let's
Waka.
Blitz.
Okay. Alright, so... What are you doing
That's
on the
right.
camera?
It's Blitzball stuff. You wouldn't understand.
You're
Jack
right, I
shot
don't
out of here.
understand. Alright, well that's the end of the news
Mark
for
3,
today.
right?
What are you talking?
The
You
Jack
know what?
shot
We-
Mark 3. We call it the Mark 3 so that the audience comes back to find out what Mark 1 and Mark 2 is. But we never do it because there's never a Mark 1 or Mark 2. It's just Mark 3.
Is that like the Gillette Mac 3 Razor?
Sure. Where's the Mac 1 and 2? Maybe you'll find out. Probably not. Maybe you will though. Come back for the next ad.
Alright,
It's just
so
marketing.
we're gonna throw over now back to Warren and Kirby who have reviewed the game Astroneer this week.
Well, hello and welcome to a not quite as live version of the review. This week, I'm still Planting 42, and I still remember the name of my co-host, thankfully.
Do you? Yep, I'm here.
Well,
ChinDocta,
I do,
Kirby.
but you're Chin. Do you know your name, though?
Yeah, I can introduce myself this time. Hey guys.
So this week we were checking out Astroneer, which is one of the interesting new games that's come out of the game preview program. This was published and developed by System Era Softworks, and the release date's listed as 6 Feb 2019. So I'm assuming that's when it came out of game preview.
Yeah, because it's been
Okay.
it's been in preview for a while and alpha builds
what I
and
thought,
Steam
yeah.
since forever.
It is a little on the pricier side from most games. This one's $29.99 on the US marketplace. Its genre is listed on TA as a survival, sandbox, and open world, which, yeah, it's definitely survival because you die more than once. Sandbox, yep, definitely. Open worlds even. Yeah, I would totally go with that.
Yeah, it might
They
need a
list.
simulation as well. Maybe it's
Yeah, I thought of maybe suggesting that, but it's I don't know.
kind of like
It's-
an
if it is a sim, it's like an
arcade
arcadey sim. Yeah. 80 to 100 hours is probably a decent estimate, even though there's very few estimates yet on site. It's going to take a while. There's some really grindy achievements. I don't know. The plot on this one, I didn't really get a sense of a plot. The tutorial kind of gives me a feeling that we were set loose to explore and kind of tasked with mastering whatever planet you live on, craft the means to leave, and then start the cycle all over. However, as you explore, you always find like wrecked rovers and wrecked like rubble from other people that look just like the stuff you make. So if I'm exploring behind all sorts of other people. I'm a little lost.
Yeah. And there may be more story that comes in as you sort of progress and do some of the achievement related puzzles and things, but obviously they're a bit further into the game than we got. So maybe discover more of that story.
That is also entirely possible. I mean, I guess let's go into the achievements then. Yeah, there's 54 in this game, most of which you'll probably be working on for a very, very long time. There is a platinum achievement of sorts, a complete all achievements achievement. It does seem to be unlocking, so kudos for that.
Mhm.
However, most of these are kind of accumulative or do all of this kind of achievement. And then there's all of the other story-based ones for landing on the different planets and solving puzzles. I guess finally there's like some multiplayer support, which I wasn't able to test, unfortunately, but there are a couple of achievements that require you to be in a multiplayer game. I think like 4 hours of multiplayer time, take a journey from one planet to another with a multiplayer, like in their ship.
Research
Little
something in
things
someone
like that.
else's world. Yeah.
Okay.
Just sort of introductory things for, I guess. And then there's the travel to the center of the planet in someone else's game or in a multiplayer game. So might be able to be your own if you're hosting, I guess.
Yeah, hopefully, and I guess the good thing about this is you can invite them into your game at any point. You've saved your game, and you can make multiple saves. So it's one of those kinds of games. You don't have one specific save file. You can just make save after save after save of, oh, hey, this is a good spot. Put a break here. Because like we were talking about before we started recording, I've done some insanely deep digging and have no idea how far you have to go to get to the into the mantle of a planet. So journeying to the center of the Earth, I don't even want to know what that's going to take.
No, yeah, it's going to be a while. I think depends on which planets. Hopefully, some of the smaller planets will logically have a shallower depth to get to the center, but you never know. So they're still relatively big planets, so.
Yeah, exactly. And, you're digging with essentially hand tools. So, who knows? Gameplay. I would define the gameplay in this as trial and error at best, frustration at worst. Where you are placed initially, where you land, makes all the difference between you having a good fun time and being able to kind of get a good grasp as to what's going on, and it being perhaps the worst experience of your life. If you don't land where there's materials that you can work with, there's just nothing you can do other than start a new game.
Yeah, there's a very important material at the start. Compound, probably the most important material to start with, because that allows you to build tethers, and what the tethers do is extend a little oxygen line from your base to wherever you're exploring. Without those, you will be using the oxygen supply in your backpack, your tank, and when that runs out, you eventually suffocate and die. So if you don't have compound early on, you don't get to make the tethers, and you don't get to explore, pretty much.
Yeah, and the inability to explore kind of means you can't do anything else you need to in the game. So yeah, you'll end up doing what I did quite a bit in my initial playthrough, which is dying. Now, a note of dying, it's actually not as bad as it sounds, as long as you can remember how you got to where you died. Because although you will simply just respawn at your base, if you don't remember how you got to where you were, you're not going to be able to retrieve your pack and all of whatever it was that you had with you. But thankfully, if you can remember where you died, it's just a matter of navigating back to where you were, and you can just pick up your pack and pluck everything off of it, and then it usually disappeared for me. I don't know why, but it went flying off into nothing.
Yep. Yeah, a little bit strange, some of the physics in this, but they do have a terramorphing tool. That's how you dig up all of your materials, and you can then also build up using it. I think it's probably one of the better ones that I've seen in titles similar to this. It's done well. You can build up and you can flatten, you can make ramps and stuff, and it's quite for how simple it is, it can be used quite in depth to reach areas that you might not have been able to get to without it.
No, agreed. I've definitely come to love the ability that I can make little ramps down into these caverns I've been digging out. So whoever designed that, kudos to you guys. The thing that
there is fall damage.
Oh, sorry?
There is fall damage.
Oh, yes.
If you fall far enough. That's something we should point out. Don't just jump into caves and holes, because if they're deep enough, you'll just die, and you go, well, I'm going to have to dig my way down there somehow.
And kind of worth also, I guess, noting is once you've like been flattening out or like digging out stuff with your morphing tool, somehow all of that dirt is packed in there and stored in there. You can actually build rampways down. It's not like you have to have something to smooth out to work your way into things. You can actually just start laying down path if you've been digging recently.
Yeah.
I guess that's kind of ties good in with this then. Crafting is like everything about this game. It's you start with the ability to craft small things out of your pack, and then from that you can make larger crafting devices which make larger and larger objects. Is how everything is broken down in this. You make a platform and you put the object onto the platform, and then you can tie it into the power in your base or some other form of power generation like batteries or wind power, solar, if you have the ability to make that stuff. I haven't found those kind of materials ever, but there's quite a few different ways to actually make your base work. And it involves everything from either finding objects in the environment that you would break down to get essentially experience that you use to research more and more items, or it is the dirt that you extract from the ground that you can then process into the different resources you use to build with, or even going as crazy as taking different things like, say, clay and turning it into another resource. For instance, glass. Taking aluminum and bringing it aluminum ore and turning it into aluminum, or iron ore into other element. It's pretty cool how they let you do that with the different tools, the smelting device and whatnot. So
yeah,
it's just a lot of kind of learning the limits of what planet you're on and what the resources you have to work with to figure out how to get engines onto your ship and off onto another spot to explore. It's kind of your really only goal in this game, is to just master the area you're in and go to a new area.
Yeah, and there's very little hand holding. You're not sort of, I mean, the tutorial explains a little bit of the basics, but everything that you need to find, for even, finding what an element looks like to begin with in the world, and how you would refine it, whether you smelt it or you have to do something else. That's all just, you've got to figure that out yourself. So there is a lot of learning, and playing new saves after you've played for a bit will mean that you can probably progress further, assuming you get a reasonable spawn, because okay, this is what I'm looking for immediately. I'm not going to run around for an hour dying because I don't know what I'm actually looking for.
Exactly. I mean, it's definitely a fun game. It's all going to come down, like we say, into like that whole crazy trial and error, what you find, where you start.
Yeah.
I guess graphically, I should mention, this is a 4K HDR enhanced game. It is not a pixel art styled game, so they earn some points for me for that. It reminds me a lot of Clay, kind of. So like, if you played Claybook and saw how visually that game appeared, or I would say it looks a lot like that in my opinion.
Yeah, I could definitely see that. Yeah, it's got that sort of glossy, everything sort of a bit glossy and sheen, and yeah, I see where you're coming from.
So I guess then, looking back at Astroneer, I personally find it an amazing value for the amount of time you would sink into this. However, I completely acknowledge this is a rather niche game given the whole space survival theme. So if it's something that you are interested in playing, I would totally recommend this for you at its full value. However, because it is kind of on the niche side, I would say that the general population would probably get a good value out of this at maybe like a $15 price point. So if you find this going on sale for like a 40% off, that's probably going to be a good time to jump on it.
Yeah, definitely agree. There's so much you can do that if this is the kind of a game you enjoy, $30 is well worth it. Yeah, I agree. Because there's just so much. There is so much, even after the achievements. There's just so much to mess around with and play with and mold and shape and do whatever.
Exactly. It's sort of like Minecraft. You enjoy with the whole existence of it. You have fun exploring the world and playing with it. That's the game more than just completing the achievements. So yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that's my take on it. I give it a thumbs up, and yeah, if you can find that on sale, even 2 thumbs up.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. With that, I'll catch you guys next week then.
Bye.
Peace.
All right, well, thanks a lot, guys, for reviewing Astroneer. Sound like you had a lot of fun with it. From Warren and Kirby, just to Kirby, what have you been playing this week? What's on your playlist, mate?
So I started this week dipping my toes into Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2. Man, that's a mouthful. Didn't think of that writing that down. Because I was informed that one of the rare events that hasn't happened since September was active again, and there are 2 achievements tied to it, so I jumped into that game and got those 2 achievements. The game mode related to the achievements was the Cats vs. the Dinos, which appears in the mystery portal, and obviously in the event calendar the mystery portal is a mystery until it comes up, but they'd revealed that this was it, and as it had, September to now is 7 months since the last time it was on, so figured probably get this just in case I ever want to play the game. Really easy achievements. You just had to finish a full match, which was a best of 5 between the Cats versus the Dinos, as either the Cats or the Dinos, and vice versa. So 1 full match is the Cats, 1 full match is the Dinos. Joining mid-game doesn't count, so you go in usually mid-game and wait until the round ends, and then hope that you get one of the whichever one you don't have. So the achievement, there's an achievement each tied to them, so pretty easy. Maybe 20 minutes of sitting in a lobby and sort of running off a cliff so I'd die and hopefully the round would end sooner. After that, I did some of the solo quests just to kind of get a feel for the game. It's pretty fun. We'll see how much time I get playing it. I have joined, though, a session on Thursday afternoon, being run by the Xbox Achievement Community, who is a Shadowless Edges community on Facebook. On Thursday, they've got, I don't know if there's boosting specifically happening, or if I think it's just mainly a for fun session. But I'll probably, because I've done nothing in the game, I'll probably get something out of it. Other than that, I've done Carnival Games, which is a Xbox One game. I have a Kinect game of this in some description on the 360, but I have barely touched it, so I don't know how similar the mini games are. The game itself is just kind of a bunch of party games or mini games that you play, really, against people or AI. The achievement list looks like it's a difficult completion because you have to beat the AI on hard in all your different game modes, but like hard is slightly less skilled than an unskilled real person. I feel like if I gave the controller to one of my dogs, they would do better score-wise than the hard AI. So it's really quite simple. Minigames are pretty fun. The only recommendation I would say for anyone who wants to play this would be to go for the achievement called Go the Distance pretty much first. It's for winning 10 world tours against all hard AI. So a world tour essentially is you play every minigame you've unlocked. So at the start of, when you start up your save, there's only the 8 default unlocked, and you purchase more with tickets or your currency. So if you do it at the start, there's only 8 unlocked, so you don't have to do, I think it's maybe 20 games total potentially, 10 times. That would be horrible. So you just do your 8, and I usually had to win 5 against the baby hard AI, and then I could just let my controller sit for the next 3 games, and I'd have enough points that I'd take first place, repeat 10 times. So not the most exciting,
I guess the question that's on everyone's lips is, could Planting's cardboard cutout of the most interesting man in the world win some games?
If he leaned it against the controller just right, probably. Honestly, there's some button presses involved, but I'm sure you could just lean it up and have a fan blowing so that it moves slightly and taps one of the buttons or something. Yeah. But no, it's pretty fun. It's just a bunch of mini games, and the AI is pretty easy.
Do you get hot and sweaty playing it? Like, is it one of those kind of games?
No, not even. I like one of them. Honestly, you're doing the like for example, there's baseball, so you just have to hit A at the right time, and you'll hit a home run.
Right. It's not the Connect
No,
version.
not the Connect version, just the controller version. I'm sure I'd get hot and sweaty playing the Connect version.
Yeah, it's surprising how easy that happens.
Yeah.
Well, for me anyway.
So, 3 little quick mentions before I go for the big one. Metagal, the new Ratalaika game, came out last week. It's awful. It's terrible. I'm disappointed in them. I've been told it's basically a carbon copy of the first Mega Man, so clearly that game's awful as well. And terrible and bad. Doesn't deserve being placed.
What system did the first Mega Man come out on? Was that Super Nintendo?
Yeah, Game Boy.
Or NES, I would
I don't know.
say.
Sega. I don't even know what brand of consoles it would have come out on.
That's all right. You keep going, and I will have a quick look.
It's a bad game, but it's a 15-minute completion, I think, for me. So it's relatively quick. You don't need to get much further than one level. Some people have trouble with the boss because you need to defeat at least one boss, but a couple attempts and I killed her, so it wasn't too difficult once you learn the pattern. Lies of Astaroth, I'm pretty much down to just the basic grind, doing every day. Play it 3 times a day for 5 minutes just to get some experience and some money and do the little daily things I need to do. Because I've done all the quote-unquote skill-based achievements where you need a good set of cards to be able to beat the opponents properly, and now it's just kind of do some events when they come up so I can get cards to reach my 400 unique cards and that sort of thing. I imagine hopefully by the end of the year I'll complete it, but it's...
Sound like me in Gears of War 4.
I mean, the thing is with Gears of War 4, you can put more time into it to get closer. This Unlimited, the more you play, the closer you get to completion, right? Logically?
Well, that's mostly true.
Yeah.
I still would need to find people to take me through certain
Oh,
modes.
yeah.
And no matter how much time I put in, I still wouldn't be able to find a game on the Australian servers, so...
Fair enough. Yeah, this is gated by energy, which, I mean, if I throw enough money at the game, I could probably complete it sooner, but, I mean, I'm not going to do that, because that's silly. Realm Royale, they launched their new season for their Battle Pass, and I decided to purchase it because I've had enough fun with the game that $10 isn't a really big deal, and, I'll probably get my money's worth out of it. But, yeah, they keep updating. Like, they added it. I don't know who they're updating for, because there's got to be a player base of single digits, I'd imagine. So, like, they added a new weapon. It's a Gatling gun with a spin-up time and has 500 bullets and does 50 damage a shot. And it's like, okay, this is cool. Actually, I will say, though, I had a game where I saw 2 other real people.
Are you playing on like an Australian or an Oceania server, or are you playing on like the... Okay.
Yes.
Because the North American server,
Australian
I've typically found, say, 20 to 40 people every single match I've played.
Okay, that's where they're all hiding then. And they can stay there, because I want my easy wins.
So I looked it up. Mega Man came out in 1987 on
That's
the
before I was
Nintendo.
born. On the Nintendo.
Yes, the regular Nintendo. Just December, so what, 8 months after I was born, 9 months after I was born. Yep.
Stop, I need to... 1 second. What do you mean on the Nintendo?
The NES.
The Nintendo Entertainment System.
Okay. Alright. Yep, that's fine.
What else does that mean?
The company.
It came out on the Nintendo.
Yeah. You sounded like an old parent. Get off the
Nintendo.
Nintendo.
Like if you say it came out on the Xbox, that would be referencing the OG.
Yeah, you wouldn't say it came out on the Microsoft, though.
I also said 1987. So, I mean, you'd hazard
I
a
have
guess
no
that it
sense
wasn't
of-
the Nintendo 64.
Yeah,
It
NES
was-
came
no,
out in
I don't know when the Super
86,
Nintendo came out, though.
84, I forget, yeah.
I don't know when the Super Nintendo came out, though.
Oh. Yeah,
Later
after
than
that.
mate. It was the 90s, I reckon.
I had one as a kid. I don't remember when it was released, though. And now.
Alright, move on. What else have you been playing?
Okay, the important one. This is the big one. I've been playing Cook Serve Delicious 2.
Yeah, no, I was interested to hear about this one as well, because I think, like most people, I thought it was a Overcooked clone.
Yeah,
but that's not the case.
Literally, my first sentence about it. I'll get this out of the way immediately because it's the first question everyone asks me. Is this an Overcooked clone? No. I think the original came out.
Hijacked it.
I think the original came out well before Overcooked. But it's essentially just a management game. So whereas Overcooked is more like a party cooking game, this is a management game. October 2013, the first one came out. Yeah.
Yeah, so that was before Overcooked.
So you pick a restaurant. You can either use your own restaurant and you pick whatever meals you want to serve there, or you are a chef for hire and you work in someone else's restaurant with their sort of theme of meals. So the first restaurant is Max Wieners, and it's corn dogs and pretzels and hot dogs. That's essentially all the food that you make. Some side dishes, some drinks, but they're the main things.
That sounds pretty good to me.
Each of the days is 5 minutes long in real time and 15 hours in the game. A customer will come up and order, say, a corn dog with ketchup. So you either have the corn dog pre-prepared or you cook it on the spot. There are some foods you can't cook on the spot. You will have to have pre-prepared. So you cook up your corn dog, you open up the menu where you could either put mustard or ketchup or both on. You put your ketchup on, you serve it to them, they're happy, they go off. You know, you have 4 slots for customers, so anywhere between 0 and 4 customers could come in. Those slots expand as you obviously get to the harder levels. The foods you need to make get more complicated. It might be a burger with 3 patties, bacon, 2 slices of cheese, Swiss cheese, onions, sauteed mushrooms, a fried egg on a regular bun. So you've got to build that all up and then serve it to the customer and juggle all your other orders to make sure that people don't get upset and leave, because if they're waiting too long, their order will start to sort of decrease in size and slide off the board. If they slide off the board all the way, it's considered a bad order because you didn't serve them and they leave. There's miscellaneous tasks you do as well, things like taking out the trash, cleaning the toilets, setting mouse traps in because you're serving so much good food that the mice are coming, the mices. And if you make a mistake with an order, so if you put pickles on a burger where they ask for no pickles,
why would you do that though? That's just
it'll go
rude.
from a perfect order or a good order to just an average order. So what I'm working on at the moment is getting 15 restaurants doing all their shifts with gold medals, which essentially means I have to be perfect. I have to not miss a single meal. I have to make every meal perfect. I can't miss a single chore because I did check, because the wording says no bad meals or whatever. So me cleaning up the trash is not making a bad meal, but it breaks your combo of perfection, and that doesn't count apparently, because I have a lovely screenshot of all perfect meals and getting a bronze medal. It's very disappointing.
That's harsh.
I was trying to game the system though, because it wasn't a perfect combo because I ignored all the chores. But obviously, the better you do, the more impatient people are. I guess from a game sense, it makes sense. But if you're at a fancy restaurant, you don't go to McDonald's and go, "Oh, I'm happy to wait 30 seconds," and then go to a fancy restaurant and go, "Man, if this takes longer than 10 seconds, I'm going to stab someone." That correlation doesn't really make sense in the real world. As a game, I get it. It's getting difficult though, because
they probably had some mechanic to force a time onto you.
Make it a little bit harder.
So I'm at a restaurant, the burger restaurant, and I have 9 customer slots, and they will wait 10 seconds before they start getting annoyed and your timer decreases. So it's really getting difficult.
Life. Yeah.
Yeah. it's it's quite difficult. There's a couple achievements that I've got that no one else has yet. Currently first on the leaderboards for in terms of numbers of achievements won. Everything I have left has not been earned by anyone, so it's just sort of I'm gonna try and be first to finish it. We'll see how we go.
And add another one to the list.
So all this stuff means I ended up with 3,450 GamerScore for the week.
Okay. And before we hand it over to Planting, if I recall correctly, you were streaming Cook Serve Delicious 2?
I did a little one because Cameron was like, hey, I'm interested in the game. I said, I guess I'll stream it because I don't have anything better to do with my life. So I did about an hour of it. I'll probably do another. I mean, if I get time on a weekend, I'll go back to streaming definitely this weekend. Definitely for sure. Definitely for sure. Yeah.
Okay. All right, so did you say how many game scores? Yeah, 34 something. Yeah,
3450.
Okay. All right, now Planting, you're up. What did you play this week?
Apparently not much. I was actually more concentrating on getting our May event planned and presented to the devs. So, looking back now, it looks like I did bare minimum to keep my streak going for the week.
All right. You can tell us what the event is for May. All right, go for it.
I can. No, I don't think I can. Sorry.
Oh. Okay. All right, then don't. That's fine.
You're just gonna have to wait. So, but I did play some games this week, and
Okay.
I did finish up the update number 7 DLC for Forza Horizon 4, which was the seasonal race championships that they added in and things like that. When winter was, of course, my last racing championship, and I will yet again say how much I do not enjoy driving cars in the winter. Don't know why they thought it'd be fun, but living in a state where we have lots of winter, I can assure you I'm not really fond of the month. At this point, I'm really waiting for it to get over. But anyways, so yes, we did more racing in winter and got that done. I played a bunch of random games to kind of build out my Link Frog streak, so I'm going to omit all of those. Played more Instant War on Windows 10 than I probably should have, but nowhere near the amount I'm going to need to finish the thing off. So
what did you get in Link Frog?
I ended up with 16.
Oh damn! I think you beat me.
And had I let it go and end naturally, I would have had 17. Looking at my achievements, but I ended up just clicking the end button because it just kind of sat there on my page. I'm like, yeah, no, I'm done. And I ended it, and then I proceeded to unlock another achievement that would have added to it. So
I'm pretty sure I got 13, I think. What did you get, Kirby?
You got your 10. That's good.
I got 11. Yeah.
Okay.
And then guess what letter I ended on?
What do you
X.
mean?
The letter I had to
last
get next. Yeah.
Oh.
Given
X,
everything
X
I talked
probably.
about, what letter did I get?
I don't know, mate.
R.
I'm not sure how that relates to anything.
Do you not remember me saying every single letter I'm getting every single achievement I get ends in R? Even the ones that start with R and end in R. I had about 6 of the 11 were R.
Yeah, I guess it kind of sounds familiar, but...
Mate, pay attention. Snap
I
on.
do, but it goes in one ear and then straight out the other. Or in one eye and out the... Anyway, you know what I'm saying. So, Planting, take us back to some sensibilities.
Okay, so besides being a pirate, or Chin being a pirate, I was also playing Magic 2015 and trying to finish that up because I don't know why I'm trying to finish it up, but for some reason that ended up on my plate. So my mini whiteboard of one game this week was Magic 2015.
So is that one of those games that's got like win 500 matches or play for 500 days? Is
Dailies.
that game?
No, that one you're thinking is duels. I think that's the current
500 dailies,
Magic
and there's no
game.
tracking.
That has the dailies. Yeah,
Okay.
no. And no, I haven't been really playing my dailies either. So that's who knows if I'll ever finish that game. Probably not. But 2015 I can finish. So that one I'm kind of pushing more toward. And then besides that, the whole Neverwinter, at least logging in to get my key and my items and stuff, and making progress on our Elite Dangerous journey. It's a 2-week flight because we weren't going to be able to meet up again on Friday night. So I've got another week to finish making like another 40-something jumps. Like I should probably step that up a little bit more so I'm not too late for the next meetup. All told for this week, it was a rather paltry 475 GamerScore.
Geez, a smile on Chin's face when you say that. It's
No.
what?
No.
What are you smiling about?
That's because I thought you'd read Discord. That's fine.
No.
Because you gave me a look. I thought, Planting, I will say, I did get your joke a little bit late and had to muffle my laughter so I didn't go over your talking. About me being a pirate.
No idea what you were talking about with the pirate. I just...
Because I had so many... All the
started
R's.
ended with R.
R, you got me with that joke, matey. Okay.
I lost it.
Right.
Yeah,
no, that was too like highbrow for me. Planting. I'm usually down in the gutter a bit more. Pickle, not Pickle Rick though. Pickle Burger.
No.
All right. So I had a sick day this week, and when I decided to finally get out of bed, I thought, no, I'm going to finish Titanfall 2. So I became the master. I got the last achievement for finishing that gauntlet under 33.65 seconds, I think it is. It took me... I know Cameron said, was it last week or maybe it was in Discord, he said it took him about 40 minutes. It took me longer than 40 minutes. It took me about 75. So I set up my recording equipment so that I could record myself and the game. And after about an hour and 5 minutes, I stopped. I went and had a little break, patted my dog, came back, and I did it in about 10 or 15 minutes. So, yeah, it took me about 75 minutes. But, geez, that is a tough achievement.
So how quickly did you finish it in, eventually?
33.40.
And were you grenade boosting across?
Nah, man. The problem with doing that is that the shock grenades have a wide radius to hit multiple targets at once, and to do grenade boosting you need to use frags. So you can go a lot faster, but you need to actually probably shoot the majority of the targets, and I struggled going at regular speed, let alone grenade boosted speed. It is a really tough achievement, but I got it done, so now I've got the completion on Titanfall 2. I played just the new update in the Minecraft and the Minecraft Android Pocket Edition achievements. So Bill Zuminati has got a world up. I think he's put it in a public Dropbox as well, so you can get it pretty easy. It's one achievement. It's very easy to do. It took me about 10 minutes in total for both versions of the game. I also finished up Dear Esther after I talked about it so much last week. The story, I don't know, it wasn't really all that, I think. I remember saying last week I was hoping that the story would kind of ramp up and be a lot more interesting in the final third of the game, but just didn't really hit any kind of crescendo that I was hoping for. The story I thought was just okay. I actually surprisingly enjoyed the director commentary a lot more than I thought I would. So it's just interesting to listen to what the developers are thinking when they make the game. So when they were talking, especially the developer, and I don't actually remember what her name is, maybe it's Jenny something, but she was talking a lot about the music and how the music is not constantly played. Like in other games, there's always music going. And in this game, it was just put in key sections of the game. And as she was talking about that and the music in the game and how she composed it, I just thought, it really makes a lot of sense. But it was just something that I found really interesting about the game, the director commentary. So Rocket League had a big session on Friday night with Mad Kiwi and Beta, had a few beers, and I actually got to Platinum 1 Division 4 in Standard, which is 3 vs 3. It's crazy for me to think that we were hitting Platinum 1 Division 4, like almost made Platinum 2. So, anyway, yeah, just that's my little Rocket League sub-in for this week. And the big one for me this week, I have started really playing Deus Ex Mankind Divided. So this game is actually the final game I will be playing before I move on to the other side of the whiteboard. So this, and actually in terms of trivia, this is the last game that I bought on day one at full AAA price. So I think it came out in 2016. So I'm only just playing it now. I dived it back in, I think, 2017 for the Bean Dive. It's a heavily RPG-inspired first-person stealth or shooter game, but it's actually got a really solid story. So, in the end of Deus Ex, is it Human Revolution? The previous game was called? Yeah. They had the Org incident that they talk about, where people who had augmentations went crazy and went around killing each other for a short period of time. And since then, non-augmented humans don't trust the augmented humans. The augmented humans are treated like second-class citizens, which is, for me, I find it quite ironic, because augmented humans can physically do and be a whole lot more than a regular human can, but they're treated as second-class citizens. So I feel like there's a funny social commentary in there somewhere, but I'm not really sure. But the good thing I find about Deus Ex games is that they allow you to come in guns blazing, and they give you some good weapons and tools to do that, and also you can level up the augments for a playthrough like that. But there are more achievements that are related to stealth, so that's the route that I'm going. The last thing I'll say about the game is that if I don't unlock Foxiest of the Hounds achievements in this game, and there's another one for not setting off the alarms. Actually, maybe that's Foxiest of the Hounds. There's Foxiest of the Hounds and another one for not setting off... Yeah, Pacifist, that's the one. Pacifist and Foxiest. If I don't unlock these achievements in this game, I probably will never play a Deus Ex game again. Because in Human Revolution, I know I met the criteria, and somewhere along the line it decided that I didn't, and it screwed me out of those two. Anyway, my GamerScore for the week is 735, so... yeah, I think it'll be quite low for the next couple of weeks while I work my way through the game. But I am looking forward to it. I wish I'd played this game earlier, because it's really good. What have we got in the sales this week, Mr. ChinDocta?
Well, we have our it's our yearly Halloween sale.
Yeah,
in
seems
April.
a bit like that, doesn't it?
Yeah, there's a fair few horror games or horror themes or... Hello, puppies.
Something horrible is stirring up your puppies.
Yeah, maybe the audio is not coming through my headphones from your voice.
No, maybe... oh, that's... I was going to say, maybe it's Bedlam the video game. That would stir anyone up.
Oh, it's alright. Anyway.
Is that your recommendation?
Yeah,
No.
Absolutely. I'm gonna fix it.
My recommendation is to not play it.
Jeez. Seriously,
The dogs
guys,
are
settle
barking in
down.
agreement with me. Don't do it. They're saying, don't do it. Don't Bedlam. Don't do it. No.
Settle down, God. Seriously, cut it out.
Puppies.
I lost my train of thought now. I'm gonna see. Now we have to decide whether I leave all that nonsense in or not. Decisions. Albert and Otto, 75% off, $2.99. Bold Boy, 75% off, $2.24. Decay the Mare, 50% off, $4.99. Don't Knock Twice, 50% off, $6.24. Dying Reborn, 60% off, $7.99. Haunted Halloween 86, 50% off, $4.99. iZombie, 50% off, $1.99. Rise of Insanity, 40% off, $5.99. Tacoma, 70% off, $5.99. The Bunker, 70% off, $5.99. The Park, 60% off, $5.19. Toby, The Secret Mine, 60% off, $3.99. And Your Toy, 50% off, $7.49. Those were all the quick points.
Yeah.
So
Your Toy has got an RNG achievement, and I think you said, you got it in 2 turns, picking the key out of the light.
Twice,
I think I was at 17 or 18 turns by the time I got it. So, Yes.
If you're saying don't play Bedlam, I'm saying don't play your toy. There's so many better ways to spend that time.
Have you played Bedlam, Warren?
Me? I've nearly completed it.
Yeah.
What did you prefer out of your toy and Bedlam?
Oh, Bedlam is not bad at all. I'll gladly play Bedlam.
I'd play it again. What is his name? Christopher Myers. Christopher Meyer.
Brookmeyer or something?
Brookmeyer, that's it. Christopher Brookmeyer's Bedlam. Speaking of Bedlam...
I would have a strongly worded conversation with him if I ever met him.
I didn't like your Bedlam video game. Stop.
Jesus. Why am I an English child? What's going on, mate?
I don't know.
Oh, please, sir, can I have some more? Just not of your video game.
Can I have a couple? Just not another level.
Oh, God, no.
Okay. Speaking of easy points, Bedlam, 60% off, $3.99.
Don't do it.
Alex doesn't recommend it. Warren and I don't really care. So it's, 6 hours, we reckon, for the completion?
Yeah, about that.
Yeah. So 6
hours.
6
hours too long. 7 hours too long.
Dead Ahead Zombie Warfare, 50% off, $9.99. Deep Ones, 40% off, $2.99. Flipping Death, 60% off, $7.99. Limbo, which is 99% easy. Most of the game is easy. The 11 out of 12, is it? Or 12 out of 13 is easy. One achievement is difficult, but it's 70% off,
No Use in
$2.99.
Dying, I think it's called.
Yeah, so play the game
finish the game in 5 deaths or less.
Yeah. Riddle
easy. Corpses
EXX. 40% off, $5.99. Very good twin stick shooter. It's a very good one. Soma, 60% off, $11.99. The Invisible Hours, 50% off, $9.99. And Through the Woods is 67% off, $6.59.
So, just on a related but kind of unrelated note, would you stream Soma and Through the Woods on a scary game night that you keep saying you're going to have?
I mean, I don't know about Through the Woods. I know nothing really about it except it's kind of walking simmy. I don't know if it's scary. Assuming it is, I would, yeah. Soma, probably, and I'd have to turn off the invincibility mode so that there's actual threat to the monster, and it is scary. The problem with Soma is that there's long pauses between the scary bits and the non-scary puzzly bits. Like, there's pretty long breaks in between those. And also, the monsters give insta-death stuff, so at some point it becomes just more annoying that the monster's there in that bit, rather than scary, so... Soma, I'm probably not.
Okay.
Yeah. Recommendations?
What's your recommendation, Warren?
I'm going to say Golf Club 2. It's on a 75% off sale for $7.50, and if you haven't picked it up yet, now is probably as good a time as any.
Kirby?
My recommendation is Enter the Gungeon, which is 50% off and $7.49. It is a twin-stick roguelike shooter where all the themes are bullets, so obviously your guns shoot bullets, and the enemies are different types of bullets. And the enemies may be bullets with guns themselves. So, there's little bullet-shaped bats, and there's little sniper rifle bullets that act like a sniper rifle bullet that will sort of try and track you from long range and then shoot at you really quick. It's a very fun game. All the bosses are sort of gun-themed. So, I'm trying to think of one. No, I can see it, but I don't know what his name is now. 1 second. It's the Beholder kind of monster, one eye, lots of tentacles. As a monster in like Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah? You're aware of that as a monster? No? Okay. Someone
like
will be.
Cthulhu, who's got lots of tentacles, right?
Kind of, but it's like a big floating orb with one big eye and a mouth and tentacles.
Okay. Is the mouth on the eye? Because that seems anatomically
it's underneath.
incorrect.
But
Right.
in Enter the Gungeon, the monster boss is the Beholster. And it's, big eye, scary mouth, and each of the tentacle arms has a gun. So
Okay.
it's lots of things like that where the playing off there being gun themed game. Quite difficult though. It is a tough completion. You will need to play the game without getting hit. There are some little things. There are some things you can do to help mitigate that, but essentially you're playing through the game without getting hit for one of the achievements at least, and will require lots of multiple playthroughs with the different characters.
Okay. Well, my recommendation, if you somehow didn't manage to pick it up when it was on Games with Gold, is to get Oxenfree. It's 75% off and costs $4.99. So I've talked about this at length, so maybe go through one of the previous episodes, but the short version is that it's a really interesting story game based on kind of aliens, alternate dimensions. It's just a really interesting story, and it's worth going back for a second playthrough to see what changes.
Actually,
in terms of
good, that's a good choice of a game, because that's one of the games that the Von Coin guys are giving double points for this month.
Wow, okay, there you go. When's that coming to Australia?
Soon,
UK,
TM.
Yeah, exactly. UK and Canada, they said, I think within the next 2 weeks they planned on trying to open it up. So they're getting there. I don't know when Australia is coming officially. It's probably going to be a little ways down the line still. But.
Did you see they were talking about winning an Elite controller?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if it was one of the auctions or if it was
Another
like a
2
promotion.
weeks, I think. They're doing an Elite controller.
So is that as one of the to win by one of the auctions, or
Correct,
you
yes.
win by participation? Okay, all right.
No, by auction.
Okay. So actually, I just reminded myself as of talking about Elite controllers, I sent my second one off under warranty today.
Oh, joy.
Or yesterday. So this one, it was the left thumbstick, was not. It's kind of a catch-22. If you weren't pressing anything, the stick would drift slightly up, so it would continue pressing up. But when you press up all the way, it wouldn't actually press up.
Oh, that's okay.
Yep.
That's odd.
So I noticed at first when I was playing Rocket League, so when you try and dodge forward, you obviously have to press up on the stick, and it would just double jump, and I'm like, what the hell? Anyway, the shoulder buttons also stopped working correctly, but anyway, that'll be the second one off to get fixed.
Okay, before we move on, I looked up the bosses in the Enter the Gungeon. I want to mention some of them because they're quite good. There's the Gatling Gull, which is a big seagull head on a big muscular body with a Gatling gun. The Amoconda. Yeah, that's a good one. The Gorgun.
Oh, right, instead of Gorgon. Okay, yeah.
The Mine Flayer. Dungeons and Dragons, I don't know if you'll get that one.
No, actually, the Mind Flayer, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, do they talk about that in Stranger Things?
Possibly.
I feel like they talk about that in the first season, because the start of Stranger Things, they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, or something like Dungeons and Dragons. Anyway, and
the main big final boss is the High Dragon.
The what?
The High Dragon.
The High Dragon. Okay.
I mean, there are other bosses, but they're not as fun named.
Okay. Well, why don't you tell us what you're thinking about buying this week, Kirby?
I am probably going to purchase Deer Hunted Reloaded for $6. I think it's like 70% off or something. A dumb, easy hunting game. Sure, why not? Shouldn't be too difficult at least. And Through the Woods, which we mentioned earlier, I think I'm looking at getting for $6.59. So it's just those two this week. I've got stuff coming up in the next couple of weeks that will be taking all of my time.
Have you got anything you're planning on buying, Warren?
I'll probably end up grabbing Golf Club 2, because, it's a decent price, and I've still been kind of waiting for it to go on sale. So I can't imagine it's going to go much cheaper than 75%.
Yeah, probably nothing for me this week. which is
because
probably
you're
no
a wuss.
surprise. Well, not in terms of sales, but that Generation Zero is looking all right. All right, new games. What have we got coming out?
We have on Wednesday, I don't know if this is bow or bow. Bow to blood
Bow.
or bow to blood. But it's
think
not
it's
bow
bow.
as in like bowing forward. It's bow as in like the side of the ship. Last captain standing.
Ah.
Bow to blood, last captain standing is my guess.
Yep, I think
Yeah.
that's reasonable.
Because it's a aerial combat game. Flight combat type. I mean, at this stage, obviously it's not released. I don't know how aerially it is, but that's the look we get from it. On Friday, we have the final DLC for Enter the Gungeon, which is on sale this week. Just throwing that out there. A Farewell to Arms. They're even punny with their DLC. Smoot's World Cup Tennis comes out Friday, which I was excited for, and then I played 30 seconds of it and went, oh no, this is not the tennis game we wanted and were asking for.
You were saying that a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, I was really
you were
hoping it was going to be the tennis game we deserved, and it's not. Maybe it gets better, but it probably doesn't. Frayne, Dragon's Odyssey. It's the new Kemco game that's being released, so it's a JRPG of sorts. It'll be in the pixel art style. Kemco do pretty good quality stuff, and it's all play anywhere. But beware, there will be microtransactions to try and entice you to, double XP or healing after every fight or something like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. You don't need it. Royal Roads, which is the latest 8-Floor game. 8-Floor are the company that brought you such titles as Gnome's Garden and Gnome's Garden 2, Gnome's Garden 3, Gnome's Garden, A New Home. And I can tell you right now, this is identical but with a different skin.
What are the Gnome's Garden games?
There's
Are they
only
management games?
those four on
Oh, they're definitely
yeah.
management games, yeah.
Yeah. They just send your person to collect this resource to upgrade this thing, which gives you more resource which you use to upgrade the next thing or build the next task or whatever.
Sounds a lot like Keflings, and I think I've said that before.
Yeah. And then finally on Tuesday we have Dangerous Driving, which is by the same guys who did Dangerous Golf and Danger Zone and Danger Zone 2. Whole big Danger
Burnout
series.
Revenge.
No.
Is it not the same devs? I'm pretty sure it's the same.
I don't know. Maybe.
Oh, I'm pretty sure it's the same devs.
Wasn't Burnout made by Criterion?
Yes, but doesn't mean that some of their dev team hasn't moved on.
It might be the same devs in that sense. I'm not 100% sure though. It's Three Fields Entertainment. I don't know what they've done. And lastly, the international version of Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney Trilogy comes out on Tuesday. The Japanese version's been out for a month and a half, 6 weeks, something like that, I want to say. So, yeah, finally the international version comes out for all you people wanting to play in English or Spanish or French or whatever other language that you speak that's not Japanese.
Okay. And I was hoping to play it in Spanish.
No
Alright.
hablo inglés.
No bueno. That's what I think the game will be. No bueno.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
thought you were
just made
responding
that-
to me. I think I said I don't speak English.
Yeah, and I said no good.
Probably didn't.
Alright. So the milestones this week, not many, actually, in terms of milestones this
Step up
week.
your game, guys. Come on.
Well, a few weeks ago you were saying there's too many, and the people responded.
It's good. Good listening.
Alright. So, Kushmoose, 150 completed games. What the Ferg? Just gotta be careful how we say that to not get an explicit tag. Completion percentage of 70%. Redemption denied. Completion percentage 90%. Which, when you think about him having 1.8, 1.9 million gamer score, that's crazy. We've got Angel SK, who has got 2 milestones, top 50 in True Achievement leaderboard for point and click, and top 50 for GamerScore leaderboard in points and click. Space is the Grave, 16,000 achievements won. Black Buff, 600,000 True Achievement score. Guitar Stew, 150,000 GamerScore. And Weasel Pizza, 700,000 GamerScore. So, still lots of good milestones this week, so keep them coming through, guys. We'll keep reading them out as we see them. Just a reminder, if you do want to be tracked for that, make it easier for us to see them, send a friend request on True Achievements to the Real GamerScore profile. It's Real GamerScore, all one word, but the S is a 5, because we're pretty cool like that.
Yeah, we do lit speak.
Were there any knobs and discos this week?
Not any, there was stuff that got flagged that was really old. I don't think there was anything sort of people weren't aware of. Like we've just finally gotten around to finish talking to Harmon, who is the Just Dance king, about the Just Dance stuff that went down ages ago. Like for example, the Chinese version we've now learnt that's completely offline. So everything is offline. So none of that went down. So we had to check with him with some stuff, or her, I don't know, the gender of Harmon. They could be the queen of Just Dance. So, we sent a bunch of Just Dance stuff out recently. Gears of War Ultimate on the Windows 10 had some stuff that went out, but I think it went down ages ago, and the people that care already knew. Because I think you just weren't getting experience, so the ranking up achievements, so rank 25, 50, 75, and 100, are obviously all discontinued because you're not getting experience from matches for whatever reason.
Okay, that's really weird.
Lots of things, but nothing that was sort of really recent and not already pretty well known.
Just a quick heads up that yes. Those guys are X-Criterion developers.
Oh, okay.
The dangerous driving guys.
Yeah.
Okay. Planting Noses Racing Games. There you go. All right. Well, we'll round out the show there. So, episode 35 complete. We're going to just let everyone know where they can contact us in case, you'd like to tell us you like the things that we do. So, you can send us an email. That's hello@realgamerscore. You can find us on Twitter @realgamerscore. And once again, you can join us in Discord. The address is discord.io/realgamerscore. Warren, if people wanted to get in touch with you and tell you they really like your knowledge of racing games, where would they be able to do that?
Well, you can reach me on Twitter, on Xbox, on True Achievements, or Discord. They're probably the most likely places to find me. All of those you'll find me at Planting42.
All right, and Kirby, if someone wanted to get in touch with you and say, hey, your dogs are very active, how could they do that?
They would probably contact me on Discord is the easiest, because that'll get a live reaction of me muting them. Or, no, I think I've only ever done that to Cameron. He's the only person I've ever muted.
You just tested it out. I saw you test the mute functions on him. And he's like, hey, what the hell?
And he sent me a message on Facebook. It's like, what's going on? Discord, Twitter, True Achievements, Xbox Live, or find me streaming on Mixer. All of these at ChinDocta, ChinDocta. ChinDocta.
All right. And if you wanted to find me, you can find me on Xbox, Twitter, True Achievements, Mixer. That's ProfessorPluto. It's all one word. And you can find me on Twitch, ProfessorPluto1. I will start streaming again once I get onto the right-hand side of the whiteboard. All right, well, there you go. Another episode in the bag. If you want to help us out, please subscribe to us on the podcast player that you use, whether that's iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify, iHeartRadio, whatever it is. We'd appreciate that. You can leave us a review, which we'll read out on the show. Actually got the email this week. No reviews this month, so none to read out.
Right.
There'll be some next month. You can tell your friends about us, so when you hop in a boosting session for the Plants vs. Zombies on Thursday, Actually, you know what? When you're in there, if what's his name, Rampant Meerkat, Timon is in there. Timon, I don't actually know. Ask him what he thinks because he started listening. You can retweet us on Twitter, subscribe to us on YouTube, and the Patreon link. You can find us patreon.com/realgamerscore. You can check out our tiers over there, and you know, if you'd like to support us with your hard-earned money, we would really appreciate that. So thank you. All right, now we're done. We'll see you in episode 36, everyone. See you later.
Bye.
Peace.